welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited you're able to join me today for this speed build in The Sims 4. Today we're building a getaway retreat or a getaway, a hunter's retreat or like a hunter's getaway was kind of my thought process when I was building this. It kind of turns out to be this really lovely log cabin that would totally work as just a house too, if that's what you wanted to play with it as. You would just have to go in and change the lot type. But I built this using the New Adventures Await pack, and I had originally mentioned that I was going to try to upload this earlier, but if you saw my first video back where I built my own house, I'll add the little card up here now, you'll know that my October was crazy busy, so I was not able to do that. I flew out to Jacksonville for a retreat for a nonprofit that I volunteer for, and then I also flew to Denver for a friend's birthday party, which was so much fun. And then I also flew out to New York for Sabrina Carpenter at the Madison Square Garden, which was amazing. I love Sabrina Carpenter, and the show she puts on never fails to be amazing. Excuse me. But I was super busy. I was not able to get this video done in time, and B, it edited and uploaded in time, but here it is nonetheless. Better late than never. I'm so sorry if you can hear my dog. I'm going to slide open the door and we're going to keep going because I've already had to restart this 3 times because of my animals, and we're not going to go for a 4th because I fear I would lose my patience. I had a full day of teaching where you have to redirect behaviors all day long, and I just cannot be bothered to restart this for the umpteenth time, and so just bear with me here. We've kind of got the whole structure of the build down now. We're just working on the front porch. This build is a very long. I don't know if I said that before. See, with doing so many takes, the bad thing is I lose track of what I've said, and so I could just be talking about the same things over and over and over again, or maybe I forgot to mention something like I did this time. I know that I didn't mention that it's a 4-bed, 4-bath. And I think, obviously I mentioned that it was using the New Adventures Await pack. It's built in the New Adventures Awaits world. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of vowels. And I am just a math teacher who barely knows how to speak. So, lots and lots of stuff like that for me. I put these window boxes in, and I feel like it just adds such a cute little, okay, I'm sorry. That was me just doing a full 190 back to the build. But like those window boxes and those shutters are just chef's kiss, I feel like, with this cabin. And you are now going to hear my dog chew on their bone. And so we're going to pause here for a moment. I'm so sorry about that. Obviously, the moment was a lot longer for me than it was for you, and we're not restarting because, like I said, I would lose my mind if I had to do this for the 17th time over again. And so now I've locked myself in a room, and hopefully that means that they'll leave me alone. I also cut out me trying to do the floor plan because, oh my God, I forget how hard it is to do a floor plan with stairs when you actually want it to look decent. I obviously was playing some Sims on my break. I can't remember if I mentioned the fact that I had lost my PC in the divorce, quote unquote, or not in my build. But I was obviously waiting for my PC, but I still had my Mac, so I could play, because obviously The Sims 4 is free for anyone to download, and if you don't know that, oh my God, you should know that The Sims is free to download, and you can use any mods that you want. Those are also free. However, you do have to buy the DLC all over again because they're different operating systems, which would be very annoying, which is why I went and I bought a PC so that I was able to use my DLC, because I had bought so much DLC. Why would I buy it again? Because I've also originally lore drop. Honestly, I think I've spoken about this before, but I started playing The Sims 4 as a PS4 girly because I only had a PS4, and so I started building on that. And then my ex had let me play on his PC, and then I was a PC girly, and now I still am a PC girly. I did play my Mac for a while, and that was meh. Like I said, I didn't have any of my DLC, and so it was just me and some mods against the world. But now we're kind of getting started in the kitchen where I used the horse ranch counters. And oh my God, I love those counters so much. Which is interesting because you don't think that I hate having a whole bunch of different tones of wood. And honestly, looking at this build, you think I would hate it a lot more than I do. What? Oh, that is not what I meant. You would think I hate it a lot more than I currently do. Oh, there's a big chunk of me not doing anything. My bad. I was watching football, I believe, when I was editing this. I love doing that. I love watching like something while I'm editing, and now I realize I missed a whole big chunk. But as I was saying, I really hate mismatching wood tones, and sometimes if they're like different enough, it's fine, and that must be how it is in here. But sometimes if they're like just a slightly bit off, it's very annoying to me. Which we'll see in the bedroom a little bit later. Or even if there's like a big enough gap in between them, I'm like, oh, okay, it's like not that deep. But when they're like right next to each other, I'm like, oh, maybe I should have done something a little bit different there. Oh, I also used that little fishing pole from the Everyday Clutter Kit, and I think that works so well with the Gibbi point stuff. And I am only 6 minutes in. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to rant or find something to talk about. Not rant, but I mean, I could rant about some of my students and how they really push my buttons, but I do that with my teacher friends all the time, and I shouldn't be airing all my grievances on here. I already be talking about my divorce, and my sister hates when I call it a divorce, but I would like to see what she would call it. She just called it a breakup, but I don't think I'm being dramatic. Anyway, we're still in the living room where I didn't want to like have a big, nice, fancy TV because obviously you're coming to this retreat to maybe unwind in the evening and watch some TV. But the main point of coming on this retreat is to be outdoors. And so I did not, oh my goodness, I didn't include any kayaks. I so totally should have like had a kayak or two out on the lawn. Oh my God, if you download this, totally do that. I am such a ditz for forgetting about that. But here we're kind of doing the entryway with that little rug that came with the Adventures of Weight stuff. So cute. I also used that layered rug, which I never do because I feel like the idea of layered rugs kind of worries me, makes me anxious. I'm not quite sure which is the correct term. Probably a little bit of both. And so I don't usually tend to use it, but I felt like it was such a good use. Like, this is where I would use the layered rugs. Like, if not now, when kind of thing. But we're slowly putting things out in the kitchen to make it look like it was an Airbnb. Like, I imagine there's this lovely old couple that were, like, running it. And the lady's, like, always in the kitchen, like, making little sweet treats. And then the husband, like, takes their guests out and shows them all the good hunting spots. Obviously, in The Sims 4, you can't hunt. There is archery though in the new pack, and so that's kind of the main thing that you can do on this lot, as well as there's some other like campy stuff that I have outside that we'll see. You can also go fishing. Obviously that is like the closest thing you can do to hunting in The Sims 4, but growing up in the Midwest and living in the Midwest, it's currently hunting season. And so I was like, this is perfect. I can build a little hunting retreat, a little Airbnb for you to go hunting. It'll be perfect. Oh my God, I've said perfect how many times? I don't know. I've lost track. But we're still cluttering up the kitchen here. Just throwing stuff every which way. Not throwing stuff, but putting stuff every which way to make it look a little bit lived in, a little bit less open, a little bit less like straight out the box. I am slowly losing my mind. I really, really am. And we're only like a third of the way through this. But we've got it. We're locked in. What else can I talk to you about? I don't know. There's just like simultaneously so much stuff I could get into and simultaneously like nothing for me to talk about. I really am just a boring single girl who goes to work, comes home, takes her dog on a walk, plays some Sims, and goes to bed and rinse and repeat. That's just my life right now, and honestly, I'm okay with that. That sounded like a TikTok audio. Honestly, I'm okay with that. But now we're going back and we're cluttering up the living room a little bit, and this is all that I built, I think, in one stretch, and then obviously you're not gonna, I mean, you might see the kind of cut, because my editing isn't the smoothest, but we'll kind of cut and do The bathrooms, I think, and the laundry room that I put out. But we got to do a little bit more touching-upping with touching-upping. I don't think that's the correct term. But we got to put some flowers everywhere because I feel like an Airbnb kind of like bread and breakfast situation would have flowers out. And the old lady I was envisioning 100% would have flowers out. And so, one thing I did do is I cut out I think I left in the laundry room and this bathroom that I'm about to decorate, but I did not include any of the other bathrooms. However, they're in the screenshots. They're in it if you download it from the gallery. My gallery ID is, I believe it's Elson, or is it Alpal Games? I know if you look up hashtag Alpal Games, you will find it 110%. But now I'm forgetting my own gallery ID, which is sad for me. But it will be in the description, I'll tell you that much. I put a whole bunch of things down there in that description. I include the lot size I built this on, how much it cost, beds and bathrooms, which I already said was 4 and 4. And yeah, obviously my gallery ID, which I believe I already said as well. But am I really a teacher if I don't repeat myself 3 times? I think not. And we're finishing up this little bathroom. All of the bathrooms are pretty much the same. They all have the same bathroom. They all have the same bathroom. They all have the same toilet. They all have a little bit different showers. Obviously, this one that's right off this primary bedroom where I imagine the older couple running this would live. Obviously, it doesn't have to be an older couple either. One thing that I did want to do is use every single bed that came in the new pack. And so I did do that. Oh, did I? Yeah, I believe that bed came in the new pack. If it didn't come in the new pack, it's from Horse Ranch, but I believe it came in the new pack. No. Actually, I have no clue. Not a one. But I do think that rug is from Horse Ranch, and it ties in, like, the wallpaper in the bed so perfectly, especially with the blue door. And I even built this before they gave us the wooden little piece to expand the curtains. Otherwise, I probably would have put that in there, but I didn't have it, and so I didn't put it. Obviously, I couldn't because I didn't have it. And I'm still losing my mind. And that mirror looks so perfect there. I believe that's from the Basement Treasures kit. The basement kit, whatever one is that. And I also rotated this leaf from Eco Lifestyle. There wasn't really one way I liked it better. But it just looked so good. I think it was perfect, especially in that. Oh, I actually kind of liked it in that dark swatch, but I also like the light because it kind of brings in the framing from the door. So maybe I was doing something. I don't know. I like watching back these videos and sometimes being like, I'm not sure if I would make that same choice again. Not because it was bad, but just because I'm constantly growing, I think, and expanding what I find good. Next, we're kind of doing this like rec room. And you totally 110% could either close this up and it could be another bedroom. You could turn it into an office space. But I figured if you're using this for a retreat, you'd want some place for your Sims to hang out if it was raining outside. And so I put in a cards table because my family's big on playing cards and they would 110% play cards. At this location, I put in a dartboard. I put in a fish tank. I have a dog bed because I imagined that there was a hunting dog that lived here. And then some little ottomans for you to rest. And then the gallery wall from Gibbi Point with the dog that I imagine was a dog who lived here. And then also, I did not put that, but I put some more like games that I imagine maybe you could like take off the shelf and play on that table, which is not how The Sims 4 works, but is how real life works. And also those oars, my dog would totally 110% chew on them if they were by their dog bed. So maybe wouldn't recommend that in real life, but in The Sims, you do not have to worry about your dog eating your wall decor. And so that is that. And now we're heading upstairs. I used the wallpaper that came in Adventures for Weights, I believe in every single room, just in different swatches up here. Not in every single room, but in every single bedroom. This first one is a double. I used this kind of blue, the blue wallpaper. Oh my goodness, mind blank, like I was saying. And I used that dresser from high school year stuff. And I also brought the fireplace up here. I imagine this is kind of the nicer of the rooms. And so this would be where like the head person would stay, whoever was like in charge, or maybe like the oldest one who's coming on the the getaway. Oh my goodness. This is probably also the room I would claim if I was going on the getaway because it has its own bathroom attached. Although I really haven't had a chance to play with the getaway, but what I've heard from other simmers is that the other people at the getaways don't tend to use the bathrooms. I also didn't like obviously how I built this is that wall right there, the exterior wall can't have any windows on it. And so I used this gallery wall, which, yeah, it looks great. It looks okay. Probably not my first choice. My first choice would obviously have more windows, but I could only have windows on the opposite sides of the fireplace because that is the only true exit. And then I kind of added some extra stuff up there. I added those weekly... Oh, I included the bathroom up here. Okay, good. Because this bathroom is a little bit different than the other ones. And so it's good that I included this up here. I also put a shower in it. The one downstairs has a shower tub combo. The one in that off that bedroom just has a shower, and then the one off of like the people who I imagine owned this doesn't have a shower. It's just a toilet and a sink. It's just a half bath. Also, there's a lot of windows in this bathroom that look right out onto what I imagine would be the road or however you approach with no curtains. And so that is a little concerning, yes, but also this is The Sims and no one's looking in there. And also, if this was in real life, this would be in the middle of nowhere. And so the only people coming up would be people you know. So there's that. And then I put bunk beds in the other room, kind of decorated it for some kids. And so there's that. They could come do their archery as well. Yeah. Let's see, what else is there? Oh, that sheep rug. That sheep rug would have been so cute. Did I put it back? Oh, no. Oh, that rug is actually almost even better. Yeah, so I guess sometimes I really do know what I'm talking about when I select different rugs. I totally wouldn't have selected that, but here I am. I also added this little clutter item into this little kid's room. I also have that little Sasquatch stuffy that's from, I think that's from one of the, is it a kid or a stuff pack? It's like the one that came, oh my goodness, I don't even know. But it's from one of those two items, one of those two packs. I am blanking. I was like, oh, I totally know where this is from. I can totally say it. And then I was like, oh, do I actually know where it's from? It's not from toddler stuff, but it's from one of those ones that's just like it. And now we're on to the last bedroom, which is a little bit more simple than all the other ones, just because its windows are all from one side. There's no fireplace. It's just kind of cut and dry. It's a little bit more basic. Maybe hopefully you're paying a little bit less for this room, but that's not in any way, shape, or form how it works in The Sims 4. So you will actually not be doing that. You'll be paying the same prices as if you were staying literally anywhere else. I also added that little airplane. What is that considered? Frame, artwork, picture? Print. I guess we don't know for sure if it would probably be considered a print. I don't think it's a painting. Maybe it's a painting. It'd be a really good painting. And now we're out in the hallway. We're adding a little bookshelf, as well as some plants, and then some more, another version of that gallery wall photos that probably would be included with some people who live here. Obviously, if you want to turn into a house, otherwise you could do photos from your getaway. And then we're going outside. I kind of shift around the lot, move it off to one side so that there's room for archery over in the back corner. I also use these debug fences to kind of make some little archery zones. And then I try to find the trees that are from this pack. I also include these little stepping stones that are from the base game to kind of help add some entrance to this house. Obviously, you can't go up to the end of the lot because you can't extend past it, and there's no designated entry to this lot. I also used the Seasons mailbox in kind of some in some fall colors. Words are hard. Like I was saying, I'm just a simple math teacher, and words are extremely hard. Give me some numbers, I'll rock them all day. But words, spelling, grammar, I ain't your girl. I'll try the best I can. But when it comes down to it, my goal is to teach you math. As I tell my students every single day, I'm not here to grade your spelling. Please stop asking me how to spell words. Now I'm putting out some trees that are kind of found in the environment to help blend in the area as well as I do eventually add a little pond, which is why I mean, the pond is nowhere near big enough. This is a very pretty small lot. It's a 40 by 30 lot, so it's not like that terribly small, but it is pretty small in comparison to, I mean, I guess this is the biggest lot I built in a little while. Excuse me. But there are definitely bigger lots where I could have a bigger pond. And so with just this one, it is what it is. And back here is where we're going to put the archery. I put 3 targets, I believe, in. Yeah. And so there's not enough for every single person in this house to be doing it, but I didn't imagine there would have to be. I also kind of add some plants everywhere, try to make the space seem like a little more realistic. I feel like I'm always horrendous at landscaping, and I just want to try to make it a little more real. Here where I'm adding the pond in, oh my gosh, I feel like my ADHD is just on a new, I shouldn't say my ADHD, because I'm not like, what's the correct word? I haven't been tested or like diagnosed, but I just do be jumping all over the place. But here's where the pond is. And honestly, I was actually really happy with the shape of the pond right away. I feel like sometimes I have to like delete it and re-add it back. It was very aggravating because all of the plants were floating just because they were going up with the terrain tools. And so I just used the tool mod to move it back down and shove it into the ground a little bit, which helped. And I kind of cut out that entirely because I was like, you don't need to see me sit here and place 3 plants and lower them down and place 3 plants and lower them down and place 3 plants and lower them down. But as I was saying, my landscaping skills are mid at best anyway. But now we're kind of adding stuff in the back side yard. I add that heated lamp, and then a picnic table. I add a grill. I add a fire pit. I also add a little bit of outdoor lighting. Not a terribly a lot, but definitely some. I guess I didn't add any over by the archery. I was like, well, they shouldn't be doing it at night anyway. And I went away. Oh, I had that really nice barbecue that's kind of like southern. I don't know. It reminds me of something that you would see like in the Wild Water, not the Wild Water West. That's that is what is that? A water park in the area where I live. No, the Wild West. Yeah. And here we're kind of throwing down some lawn chairs. I changed the colors, kind of get them situated so they look less samey. Yeah, what else do we have? Oh, a chess table, because you obviously need more things, and I'm born and raised Simsy girl, so chess tables needed. And then I think I just have some terrain paint, and then maybe a few other little things here and there, but there's not too terribly much. And so I'll kind of try to start wrapping up this speed build now for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. I feel like there probably won't be that very many of you. I'm sure one of my friends will be here around here. Hi, Macy. I love you so much. But I post videos every Sunday at 3 p.m. Central Time. And I would love it if you guys were to stop by next week. I have a very fun and different build than this. It's an apartment build. And yeah, I'm so excited for you guys to see that. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!